Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Yankton County authorities surrounded a wooded area west of Gayville over the weekend to arrest a man who was seen armed with a shotgun. The call came in Saturday afternoon for a suspicious vehicle parked in a field by South Dakota Highway 50 and 450th Avenue.
Witnesses reported seeing a man get out of the vehicle with the shotgun. The man then allegedly dropped the weapon and ran into the wooded area. 35-year-old Wade Heth is charged with grand theft and being a felon in possession of a firearm. He also has multiple warrants, including being a parole absconder. A man wanted for murder in Pennington County is now behind bars.
21-year-old Dylan Russell Wilson was arrested by U.S. Marshals in Sioux Falls on Friday. He had multiple felony and misdemeanor warrants, including 2 counts of first-degree murder and numerous drug charges. Lawmakers in South Dakota are reflecting after this year's legislative session. Many bills were passed and signed, but both parties saw things they wish went better. Republican Jack Colbeck tried to freeze tax assessments on owner-occupied homes with Senate Bill 167. It failed on the Senate floor.
Meanwhile, Democratic Senator Liz Larson says she wished more had been done with minimum wage bills, but credits the work that was completed at this year's session.
Everybody got their tax assessments this year, and they were pretty high. In Minnehaha County, the averaged was 58.5% increase since 2019.
I think we were really efficient. We killed a lot of bills early, and we got down to the meat pretty quickly.
Senator Larson says she's not sure if any vetoes will happen. Colbeck isn't predicting any. Our windy weather over the weekend, combined with the dry conditions, are raising the wildfire threat throughout much of KELOLAND. Crews in Turner County battled this grass fire Saturday afternoon west of Viborg. 6 volunteer fire departments responded to the scene.
Authorities are reminding people not to throw cigarettes in dry grass and to be careful with machinery. Much of KELOLAND continues to see high to very high fire dangers, and Turner County has issued a burn ban. Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. That wind sticking around for another day, Scott?
Yeah, maybe for next couple of days we could see some stronger winds. Change that wind to the northwest tomorrow. Some of those wind gusts 30, maybe 35 miles per hour. In the meantime, today, kind of a west to southwest wind at around 10 to 20. Temperatures will range from the 40s in eastern KELOLAND to the 60s in western South Dakota. And we do have better chances to see precipitation toward the tail end of the extended forecast. More details on that coming up with Brian.
Thank you, Scott. Drivers in western Sioux Falls might want to leave a bit early this morning as construction begins on South Veterans Parkway. Western Avenue from 95th Street to Lincoln County Highway 106 will be closed to traffic beginning today. Traffic will be detoured from Highway 106 to Cliff, Minnesota, and Louise Avenues and 85th Street. The 95th Street and Western Avenue intersection will remain open until school is out for the summer.
Construction work is expected to be completed by November. Drivers are urged to slow down in the construction zones or consider taking other routes. Residents in Clark, South Dakota had some winged visitors over the weekend. Hundreds of eagles, young and mature, perched in trees and feasted on fish at Lake Mud in Clark County.
Kelly Kirsch is a retired
spot up north here in Clark is the most eagles I've ever seen in one place.
Photography and hunting. He made his way up to see if he could capture an image of an eagle.
This spot up north here in Clark is the most eagles I've ever seen in one place, and there was over 400 there for a little while. I do a lot of shed hunting in that area, so I just carried a big camera with me when I was out walking and ended up with some good pictures.
The eagles are expected to head north in the next few days.
Both the SDSU women's and men's basketball teams learned their NCAA tournament fates with Sunday's selection show. We begin with the women. The Jackrabbits are a 12 seed and head to Spokane, Washington for a showdown with number 5 Utah.
This is the second straight year SDSU has played in the NCAA tournament, and the Jackrabbits have already traveled to Spokane this season as they played Gonzaga back in December. The Jacks had to wait until the final region was revealed to hear their name called.
We were all getting, I think, a little anxious. Just wanted to kind of see who our matchup was. So, once our name was called, it was good to see who we matched up against.
The Jacks will take on the Utes Saturday night at 9 o'clock Central Time. The men found out their draw earlier on Sunday and are a 15 seed. They'll take on number 2, Iowa State.
It's a familiar matchup as the Cyclones' head coach is T.J. Otzelberger, who coached the Jacks for 3 seasons. It'll be a short trip for SDSU, traveling to Omaha for the matchup.
It was really, really special, to be able to play at home and also play a great team like Iowa State. It's going to be really exciting and ready to go.
The Jacks play the Cyclones Thursday evening. Tip-off is set for 6:35. That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching our weather forecast. After a chilly start this morning, we're going to moderate. We'll see more 60-degree weather in Rapid City this afternoon. 50s in central Ketherland as we get through the middle part of the afternoon. I think Sioux Falls, Aberdeen will be in the 40s today. That's a little bit warmer than yesterday, but overall looks like dry skies for us. Also keep in mind fire danger is higher in northwestern Ketherland. What's next after that? Well, we're going to see the weather tonight, for the most part, milder, not as cold, and then that'll get us into a good footing tomorrow for high temperatures likely topping out into the 50s. Wind northwest 15 to 30 in Sioux Falls, so you can imagine that the fire danger will be back up again tomorrow. Now, Wednesday's forecast, we're going to already see a cold front coming into the picture, and that'll cool us down for midweek. We think Sioux Falls could dip back in the 30s for highs. And then on Thursday, we have a smaller system, but one that can produce some accumulating snow in the northern half of South Dakota. We've drawn that out as just kind of a general highlight there. Sioux Falls not included at this point, and it's also a system that can kind of feed off of these differences in temperatures. South into Nebraska, it could be in the 60s and 70s on Thursday. But to the north, North Dakota, northern Minnesota, a lot of 20-degree weather. So these little systems, they like to feed off of that. And in March, you do have to be a little more mindful of that. We can get these opportunities that'll spring up pretty quickly where you can get a band of accumulating snowfall. So that's our Thursday highlight. After that, into the weekend, the forecast for Sunday is a little hard to call. We've got some snow, we got some rain. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to unpack there, but if we can get some moisture, I think most of us would be on the same page on that story. We've been very dry, and if we could get even a ½ an inch to an inch of precipitation, that would be a significant development, and it looks like the data is shifting in that direction. Stay tuned. We'll be unpacking this story throughout the week. 43 today, Sioux Falls. 47 our high temperature in Aberdeen. Mid-60s in the west. And here's your 7-day forecast. Up and down we go. We're up to 57 tomorrow, 38 on Wednesday. Kind of in the middle ground here, Thursday, Friday. Sioux Falls can kind of play a middle role there. We're not in the middle of the storm track, but I would highlight Saturday into Sunday. Saturday is kind of an introductory day where we can develop some precipitation. I would favor, though, the more substantial moisture chances are coming up day 7, possibly extending into Monday of next week. So we're kind of keeping that story there at the end of the 7-day forecast. You'll notice our numbers on the Aberdeen outlook, they're cooler or colder in the 30s. There's not all this warm 50 and 60-degree weather around, and certainly the chances of precipitation. You've got a 70% chance of snow on Thursday, a 40 to 60% chance this weekend, and a lot of that will depend on these storm tracks. So I think that same story applies to Pierre and Rapid City. We're going to trend cooler. We're going to pick up our first shot at moisture on Thursday, then regroup, and then watch things saturate into the weekend. I would definitely hold into the Black Hills, too, as we get into Sunday and early next week. There will be more moisture chances around the region. Check out all the details. They're posted right now at ketherland.com.